let's move on to what the people want, Pich. Some Bol Bol up. You know?
I'm on the Bol Bol Train Train. I'm going to tell you.
I mean, friend of the show stopped by last episode.
Sure.
It was so gracious of him. And Mikey Clark, 87, from Orlando Magic UK, is saying, I would not be surprised one bit to see Bol Bol get regular minutes in the rotation.
Oh, especially up front with those two guys maybe out in the beginning, especially with J.I. out.
Right.
Absolutely he will. And it sounds like he's been impressing quite a bit. And I mean, you don't just hear this from one source. It's kind of coming out from everywhere and coming from the players.
Yes.
So that's important. And I even had a couple people reach out to me and go, oh, yeah, but Bol Bol's looking good. But aren't you worried about his frame? He has a similar frame to somebody else he used to talk about. And I'm like, yeah, the difference is that we didn't waste a top pick on Bol Bol. We essentially got him for almost nothing.
Cash considerations,
so if he works
baby.
out, great. And if he doesn't, oh well. But we didn't waste the number 1 or number 2 pick on this guy and expect him to be the franchise. There's so many other players on this team that we expect and will contribute in a big way. Anything Bol Bol brings to the table is bonus.
Yeah.
If he's 8 rebounds and 8 points a game, bonus.
Right.
Bring it on. Like whatever it is. But it looks like he could be one of those guys that kind of just breaks it, just creeps out from behind the stage, pulls the curtain back, and steals the show.
Yeah,
and
he could. Who knows?
I'm going to say it for the first time this show, I'm here for
it. T. Ross is one of the guys on his podcast that was really hyping him up. I listened to that segment. I initially thought when I kind of clicked into the podcast that he was talking about Paolo Banchero. Mm-hmm. And then I went back and kind of listened in the car and I realized he's talking about Bol Bol. He's talking about Bol Bol dribbling over guys' heads, doing those carry moves over, 7-footers around Mo Bamba, taking step back threes, splashing it from everywhere. And Bol himself said on this show last episode that he's about to, fart some rainbows out of his posterior. And he's going to surprise you, Pich. He's going to make you maybe rethink your theory on unicorns.
All right.
But let's put a little temperance in here because this is a guy who has averaged 6.2 minutes in the NBA, so
hard to do anything good in 6.2 minutes.
Right. This is true. And he's played for the Nuggets, which they've had some pretty good big men. I mean, of course, Jokic at the center position, even Michael Porter Jr. They were competing. It's not just like RJ Hampton came over from the Nuggets. It's tough for a young guy to come in and break a rotation when those teams are competing to go to Western Conference Finals potentially. Right. I mean, they're in the mix. So we'll see. The kid is 22. He's a kid.
Yeah,
he's 22 years old. Let's see what happens.
I mean, whenever I see a ball handler that's that big and lanky, which is becoming more commonplace these days, I'm always like, yeah, those are impressive moves. But like once they're playing against other NBA style athletes, they're going to steal the ball from that guy like a ton, right? Like unless you're guarding another big man and it's just a backing in situation, it's like a one-on-one situation. Anybody comes over on help defense, by the time that ball hits the floor and gets back up to his 7'2" hand, that's a long time.
That's like Cole Anthony's height.
Gary Payton would have eaten all that stuff. Like he loved swiping in there. And there's a ton of guys. There's a guy on every team that's a steal master that's going to be looking out for that. So as good as a ball handler as he looks when he's going one-on-one with somebody or just running some drills, keep in mind that once all the other players get out there, there's going to be a lot of hands digging for those balls. And there's a lot of space there for them to get in. So I feel like that, to me, I never get too blown away by those performances that I see.
Right.
Because I'm like, tempered. Once there's other guys on the court, he's going to be a little more susceptible to getting the ball stolen. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah. If there's any silver lining in J.I. being gone for question mark.
Absolutely.
Get a little Bol Bol there.
Correct.
We'll see what happens.